Hey everybody, it's JCTheSniper here with a review of the Fobus GL-2 paddle holster, which fits several different models of Glock. This one is for the Glock 19 and maybe a couple different other models. I'm not sure exactly which ones it fits, but I've got my Glock 19 in here right now. I think it may also fit the 17. You can see there's a gap there where you could have a longer barrel. So I believe it will fit the 17 also. And this is a good holster. I like it. It's supposedly a kind of a concealed carry holster, and it is fairly low profile. However, I don't generally tend to advocate concealed carrying a weapon in a paddle holster, just because it's going to stick out further from your body. Now, if it's winter or you wear a jacket all the time, you may be able to pull that off. But you're going to have something that will cover the bulk of that weapon and come down far enough to cover it, because your waistband is going to be up here. So it's going to have to come down that far from your waistband, and just, it makes it a little bit more difficult. Anyway though, this is a good good holster. I like it. It does not have the roto, so you are stuck at this cant. You're stuck at this adjustment. And I don't find that to be a problem, because I think it's at a good cant. I like it, particularly for the way this holster is designed. You can see the plastic is molded to fit the weapon, where the barrel indent is, and all that good stuff, so that's kind of cool. I don't believe it's tension adjustable, and it isn't. It's riveted here, so not adjustable tension. You've got the standard paddle holster, a couple of hooks to hold on the under your belt and hold the thing in your pants, and also this rubber grippy stuff to help hold it in. So this is very secure. It's not coming out of your pants unless you mean it to. So there's no way somebody's going to grab that and pull and it's going to come out. It takes a little bit of work in it to get it out. Same goes for the firearm. The firearm is not coming out of this holster unless you intend it to. You can grab that and pull on it. It isn't going to come out. Because of the way this holster is designed, you can't, it's very secure from having your weapon pulled from you. Because to release the weapon, this holster is a little bit different than some. Some pull straight up. This one you have to release the brake, and then instead of pulling up, you pull back. So it's a little bit slower presentation. To reholster, you just push it straight back in. It's a little bit slower presentation than those that pull straight up, because you do have to pull kind of sideways and back to get it to snap out. So you have to pull back and then bring your weapon up into play rather than just pulling straight up. However, it is very secure from your weapon being taken from you. I mean, I just don't see any way, unless if someone were to come up behind you, they could pull it out. But in most cases, you're not going to get, attacked from behind in that manner. And even with another style of holster, they could get it out just as well. So I don't see that as being a problem. Like I said, though, it does make it a little bit slower to deploy, because you got to pull back and then come forward. So, and it'll take a little bit of training to get used to, just because you're, instead of having a regular up draw motion, it's a pull back. But I like the way the thumb brake, or I guess it's a four-finger brake, is designed with that. Leather strap securing it, and also riveted, and then a snap up here, and there's a little bit of a ramp. And the way that works, especially with the pulling back, as I bring my hand down, I can release it and continue in the natural motion to pull the gun out. So it's just popping it and continuing, and then my finger's right there by the trigger. So that works out just fine, because your finger has to already be down here to get in place to activate the trigger, and as you bring that off, your hand's right there, whereas you pull this out, your finger is, ready to go in the trigger guard. So that's kind of cool, and I think that works well. Also, as you look at this, you'll see that you can get a full combat grip on the weapon while it's in the holster. So it doesn't obstruct your gripping of the holster. And also it's canted a little bit away from your body to allow you to get your fingers around behind it. So you can easily obtain a full combat grip on the this holster, pop the thing out, and pull it out while it's in the holster. You're ready to go. You don't have to adjust your grip at all, which is convenient, and it's an advantage over the low riding style of inside the waistband holsters I recommend, because with this it's a little bit more difficult to get a combat grip on the weapon. So that is an advantage of this kind of holster. However, with the way the weapon releases from this, the speed is going to be about the same, I'm going to say, because you've got to release the brake and you've got to pull back, whereas with this you're just grabbing and pulling up. Though you do have to uncover it with your shirt. Of course with this you're going to have to sweep your jacket or whatever outer garment you have covering the weapon. So, you know, it's just something to consider. For me, this holster is more of a ranged holster, because I generally am not going to use it for concealed carry. I'm going to use something like this, or, you know, I have a belly band, or just something like that for when I'm concealed carrying, rather than something like this, just because I don't generally tend to wear a garment that will cover this that I wear all the time. You know, even in the winter, if I'm wearing a coat, I'm going to wear my coat and then I'm going to take it off when I get where it's warm. So for me, this is a little bit inconvenient. Also, it has a tendency to print just because it's sticking out from your body. You can cover it with a large t-shirt. If you wear an oversized t-shirt, you can cover it, but it's just a little bit more difficult. And actually, it's a lot more difficult than covering something like this, just because this is more low profile and it's inside your pants. It's just a lot easier to hide. So I tend to use this as a range holster. And as a range holster, it's excellent. Or, you know, possibly as an officer's holster, if you're a police officer. I wouldn't hesitate to get a holster like this if I were a police officer. You know, it has really good retention, which is something I'm going to want. Holds the weapon consistently, and I think releases adequately quickly. So, probably better for a duty holster than for a concealment holster, because of the factors we've talked about. So, that is JCTheSniper's review of the Fobus GL-2 holster for the Glock. JCTheSniper, signing off.